It is a recorded fact that a mere 150 black people and 85 yellow people survived the catastrophe, from a population of 7 billion black and 4 billion yellow humans. A register of survivors was taken just before they began to reproduce and when they had stopped killing each other. What do you mean killing each other? Let me explain the whole situation to you, and you will be able to understand better. First of all, it is important to explain that those who remained were not, as you might expect, the leaders, well protected in specially equipped shelters. The survivors, comprising 3 groups of blacks and 5 groups of yellows, had come, some from private shelters and others from large public shelters. Of course, at the time of the war, there were many more than 235 people in shelters. Indeed, it is believed there were over 800,000 in all. Following months of confinement in the darkness and intense cold, they were eventually able to risk going outside. The blacks ventured out first, finding almost no trees, no plants and no animals to speak of on their continent. It was a group, isolated from their shelter in the mountains, who first knew cannibalism. Because of the lack of food, when the weakest died, they were eaten. Then, in order to eat, they had to kill each other, and that was the worst catastrophe on their planet. Another group, near the ocean, managed to survive by eating the only living things left on the planet, which were not too contaminated, that is, the mollusks, some fish and crustaceans. They still had unpolluted drinking water thanks to very ingenious installations enabling them to obtain water from incredible depths. Of course, many of these people still died as a result of lethal radiation on the planet and from eating fish which were filled with radioactivity. Much the same course of events occurred in the Yellows' territory. So that, as I have said, 150 blacks and 85 yellows remained. Then finally, deaths resulting from the war ceased and reproduction began again. All of this occurred in spite of all the warnings they had received. It should be said that before this almost total decimation, both the black race and the yellow race had attained a very high level of technological advance. The people lived in great comfort. They worked in factories, private and government enterprises, offices, just as happens now on your planet. They had a strong devotion to money which, to some, meant power and to others, wiser, it meant well-being. They worked on average 12 hours per week.